So you're bringing forward mindset shifts that just marketers need to make as well. What additional advice do you have for marketers to try to instill that internally and, quite frankly, with their own approach?
Well, first, stop treating value propositions as marketing exercises.
Yeah.
Business strategy foundations that should drive product development, pricing, and messaging decisions.
Mhm.
Second, embrace the complexity of multi-market, multi-persona environments. You need a framework that maintains consistency while enabling adaptation. Third, become obsessed with customer validation. Too many marketers are launching programs without rigorous customer research. And you need that in order to confirm that their value propositions actually resonate with the target audience.
Right.
Finally, think systematically about the entire customer journey. Different stakeholders may encounter your value proposition at different touch points, and you need to be consistent across all of those touch points.
Yeah, I think consistency is one of the areas that people really forget about. It's just they don't forget about it, but it's not managed well.
Right. It's easy
And
to.
it is. I mean, because, if we capture the number of ad hoc requests we have on a given day and, the account manager or CMO may not be involved in those, I mean, that's really where it begins to, I think, unravel. But
It,
having a control mechanism in place to make sure it doesn't is key.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely agree.
So let's walk through next the key steps you've used to create value propositions. And I think you're going to give us an example of how you did that at GE.
Sure. So at GE Healthcare, we developed what I now call 6 elements framework. And it was for credibly addressing customer problems better than anyone else. So the framework has 3 pillars. The first pillar is customer understanding. Who is your target market? Who's your target customer? Why do they have specific problems? What benefit do they need? Because your customer can't always tell you what those problems are. You've got to get to know them. Second is the organization story.
Mhm.
So, what's your theme and differentiator? What are the reasons customers should believe you? And third is the competitor lens. How do your competitors deliver against the same insight, the same benefit? The formula is simple. It's target customer plus insight plus benefit plus differentiator equals your high level value proposition.
Yeah.
Now, we used to spend 2 to 3 weeks on deep customer research, and then another 2 to 3 weeks on competitive analysis, and then 3 to 4 weeks developing and testing. I'll say that one more time, testing
Yeah.
different value articulations. So for a complete value proposition, we're talking 8 to 12 weeks if you do it right.
Yeah. Why do so many value props fit within the sea of sameness? There is nothing, I mean, differentiation is one thing, but really the value prop needs to create distinction. And still, they're done wrong.
Correct. The research is often skipped
Mm.
because it is very time consuming. It's expensive too, depending on, who you're working with or what type of team you have. And often it reveals uncomfortable truths, let's call it that, about your own assumptions. Too often we think we know the customer better than themselves, but it's absolutely critical because without it, you're essentially guessing at what a customer values.
Right.
And I've seen organizations spend millions of dollars developing products based on internal assumptions about the customer's needs, only to discover through research and customer that the customer had completely different priorities. The research investment seems expensive until you compare it to the cost of a failed product launch.
Yeah.
Rigorous research also gives you the evidence and proof points you need to support your value proposition claims. So when you say 83% of customers in our research confirmed this outcome was their top priority. You have credible foundation for your value proposition.
Yeah, you really do. And let's face facts, perception is reality. And all too often, what we see is that the you might have a great product or great service, but the
Hmm.
marketing perception about that is completely the customer's perception. The value perception is
Right,
totally different for
right,
a litany of reasons, but alignment is actually one of the biggest areas that we see ourselves stepping into with brands that have been in market for a while, and they don't understand why they keep on missing the revenue targets.
right. And this is, to me, this is where the art of value proposition development really shines.
Right.
Differentiation isn't always about having a fundamentally different product.
Mhm.
It's about delivering superior outcomes in ways that matter most to your customers.
Right.
Specific differentiation comes from approach. It's your service model.
Mhm.
It's your integration capabilities. It's your evidence base.
Right.
And while I was at GE, we might have had similar imaging technology as our competitors, but our differentiation often came from our service network, that
Right.
service group that I was responsible for. Our data analytics capabilities that we had and our proven customer outcomes in specific clinical areas. These were key to identify what I call asymmetric advantages. So, areas where you can deliver disproportionate value relative to your competitors, even if the core product seems similar.
It's so interesting. Insurance, I think, is like one of the
Mhm.
most, I mean, you're
That's
selling
a great
it
example.
is, I mean, you're selling like peace of mind, right?
Mhm.
That's all you're selling, and everyone's pricing is probably down to the penny similar. Um,
It is.
everything about insurance, there's no difference about it. But one of the strategies that they've taken is obviously, brand character approach.